Today, we're going to be putting ice cubes on our laptops to see what effect it has on our FPS. Alright guys, the first app we're going to be using is an app called MSI Afterburner. As you guys can see in the temperature section, we're getting about 48 degrees Celsius right now, which is without the cubes. So we're going to put the cubes on and see what temperature we get.
Alright guys, so I'm putting the ice cubes on right now. We're going to wait a few minutes to let the ice cubes settle down and see if we get any reduction in the temperature.
Alright guys, so I waited about a few minutes and actually we're at 46 degrees right now. We actually dropped to 42 like a few minutes ago. So actually the cubes didn't help that much in terms of the temperature. Like all that matters really is the FPS. So we're going to go into Fortnite, test out the FPS and see if the ice cubes helped at all.
Alright guys, so we're finally in a creative. We're actually going to test out a few things right now. The first thing I'm going to test out is just looking straight up, see what FPS we get. We're getting about 300 to 320 FPS, which is actually not bad because I actually remember guys, this is without the ice cube. So now we're just going to freeboot a little bit, see what FPS we get without freebooting, because that's what actually matters, So right now our fruiting, we're getting about 250 to 270 FPS, which is not bad by any means, but like I want to see how good the ice cubes can use our FPS. So that's what we're gonna get right to testing out the ice cubes.
Alright guys, so I just put the ice cubes back on the laptop, so we're gonna wait a little bit, see if the ice cubes have any effect on the FPS. So now we're gonna jump back in game.
Alright guys, so we are back in game. We currently have the ice cubes actually on the laptop, so now we're just gonna do the exact same test. We're gonna test it right here. Look up. We're getting about the same FPS, 300 to 320. It's actually going up a little bit less FPS drops. So now we're gonna start freebooting, see if we get any boost while freebooting with the ice cubes on. We're getting about 250 to 260, bro. So it's actually the same thing. We're gonna go test it out in arena or probably zone war, see if we get any increase in the FPS. Alright guys, so we are currently in the zone war map right now. We're gonna test out my FPS without the ice cubes. Alright guys, so we are currently in the map. We're gonna dump on some kills real quick. And I'm gonna want you guys to monitor my FPS. I want to monitor it and see what FPS we're getting. It looks like we're pretty down bad right now. We're getting about 100 FPS, which is pretty bad. But let's actually get into some fighting action. So bad, bro. Bad. Oh my god. Alright, so we're getting about 150 FPS, bro. So we're getting about 170 to 160 FPS, which is not even that bad.
Alright guys, so I'm putting the ice cubes back on right now. We're gonna hop back into the same boss fight zone map and see what the ice cubes does to our FPS.
Alright guys, so we are in the creative with the ice cubes. We're getting about one. It actually looks like we're getting a little bit of an increase. We're getting about 120 to 150, which is kind of sloppy, but we're gonna test it out real quick. How did I do that? As you guys can see, we're getting about 200 to 250. So the ice cubes actually helped with the FPS in the boss fight and zone war, which is actually crazy because when we died the previous time, we're getting about 160 FPS. So now we're getting about 220. So you guys can see that the ice cubes actually help a lot. So that's actually pretty crazy. Alright guys, so what we can conclude from all this is actually that the ice cubes actually help with fighting a little bit. When you're in fighting situations, the ice cubes actually help with the FPS a little bit. But I'm actually just gonna recommend you guys get cooling pad because I'm actually pretty down, but I don't know why I'm using ice cubes. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys next video. Peace.